Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome back to ETF2L Season 42. We've made it all the way up to the semi-finals. Last week, we saw League of Shadows take, honestly, a little bit of a surprising upset versus Noob Panzer, and they've landed themselves in the semi-finals here versus tf2easy. You see the maps in the top right corner: Process, Sunshine, and Metalworks. My name is Wandum. I'm joined by JMaxchill on production, spectating the game, making sure that you have things to watch on Twitch, and I've got Beta talking with me. Hello, Beta.
This is going to be good, man. I feel like they climbed the mountain and now they're trying to jump into the sky. That's kind of the task laid out of League of Shadows here. It's going to be great to see how they react to this.
It's definitely a step up, right? I think a lot of these players that we've seen, that we have on League of Shadows, right, they've never really made that jump into the top three of VTF2L. Usually they all hover around that 4th seed playoff spot. To actually see them take a victory away from New Panzer, it's surprising, honestly. You look at these players and they're not that decorated. I think the most experienced, the most decorated player on the team is Delhi. Besides that, I mean, you look at the names. June hasn't played much of Prem. Scar and Slesh have been around for a while, but never really cracked the top. Zoe, the newcomer to Prem, and then Flick as well, has been around. Hasn't really made it to top 3. So it's exciting to see what they do tonight.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how Scar plays. He's always impressed me with his play. And especially the last couple of seasons, he's had some really strong performances in some very clutch and crucial maps. So I'm really hoping for him to step up here today. And he's going to need it because they're going up against tf2easy, the heavy favorite, winner of last season, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, right. And there's been a small change, but it's Seeds on Medic now. Then you have Nasboy and Demoman, Josh on Pocket, Nobby on Roamer, then Gassy on the Roaming Scout, and Morale on the Pocket Scout. And that is one of the best teams we've ever seen, and it is going to be so hot for them.
Yeah, this is the team that won Prem, and this is when I rack my brain. I was looking at this earlier today. I believe season 38, they took the victory over what was at that time Faint Gaming. The problem with EU TF2 is pretty much every team has been under every organization, so the team that we call Swift has been, I looked at Seeds' teams, and Seeds played on 3 different Swift Gamings, all under the same name, but with entirely different rosters. But he's here now. On TF2easy, they are Prem champions. All of them, all of these players have won Prem at least twice. I believe it is Kunu and Seeds have won it 3 times. Seeds obviously won it back with 7 all the way back when, and then Kunu, Morale, Alexei won it like season 34 or something like that. I had my notes up and then I closed the tab and now I don't remember. But around then, everyone on this team is very experienced. And I feel like if you are League of Shadows, it is a bit of a jump. I feel like you look at New Panda and sure, the players are there. There are really good players that you played against. But this is just a different caliber of team. And I think specifically that word team is really crucial because these guys have played together before and they played together a lot.
Yeah. I feel like almost the only advantage that League of Shadows have is that tf2easy is a pretty known quantity. All right, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get Nobby doing fast rollouts and going for big plays, that kind of stuff. You're going to get Josh and Nobby jumping in and then the rest of the team following. You pretty much know what you're going to get. They're just so good at it that that's probably not going to help you much. But at least you kind of have an idea of going into what you can expect. You can definitely plan around that.
Yeah, to some extent, right? Like you kind of, but the problem is, right, in theory, you know what Nubby's going to do to you. It's just in practice, when you know that Nubby's going to find a weird jump you've never seen before and drop your medic, it's so hard to do anything against that because the entire element of Nubby's gameplay is just the surprise factor of him just pulling out something completely new that you've never seen before. And it's something that makes him so scary on this team. He really is that kind of X factor for TF2easy, right? You just look at some of the other players they have on the team. Seeds is known for being this more standard, sort of very passive, the most sort of passive KD, I don't want to say KD focused, but he doesn't die a lot. We can pull up some of the med stats. You can just see the difference between Seeds and June's stats and just how much less Seeds dies. It's insane. The KD differences are crazy. and just it makes it so that Nubby is sort of the single focal point of this team, where he feels like him and Gazzy specifically are the two X factors that sort of allow them to be a little bit more creative. But I mean, look at these medic stats. These are wow. Look.
Yeah, like usually the thing with Seeds is that if you take the average medic deaths per map, then Seeds is somewhere around half of that. It's just usually what he does in most seasons. This is not quite that bad, but I mean, he still has extremely good stats. He does a lot of heals.
Yeah.
Have very few deaths, and then like usually he will build Uber really fast, be very efficient with those. Like he doesn't drop very much. Like it's very, very low, the rate that he drops compared to other people. The kind of like the downside to his playstyle is that he'll very often not have quite as much of a heal output in certain fights because he's more focused on his own survival rather than getting in there and pumping heals into his team. So you can kind of use that in fights, but in general, obviously, you want to be alive. That's going to give you a higher heal per minute overall. But in kind of limited situations, you can actually abuse the fact that he might be a bit more passive in his positioning and not being able to heal people at the very front lines. So that's how I would deal with that if I was League of Shadows.
It's also just a factor of Seeds took a break for a while. He hasn't played for a couple seasons. He had some real life stuff that meant that playing wasn't really on the cards for him for a while. And he's come back now, right? You do kind of, I think you can allow him to not have a crazy season that he has had in the past, just because he hasn't played for a bit, and you sort of need some time to get back into the swing of things. It's the same with Josh as well. Also took a bit of a break, and sort of, I think the main story for me of tf2easy is you look at the game that these two teams played against each other, and I think it was week 4 or week 5. It was honestly a lot closer than you'd expect. But I think with TF2Easy especially, is you need to allow them some time to ramp up, and we've given them the season to ramp up. Right, they played 7 weeks of games, and so I would now, if I was a TF2Easy fan, TF2Easy enjoyer, I would expect them to be quite dominant now. It would be the expectation going into this, just considering how decorated of a team they are. They've had time to put themselves together. I think this is the time where you come out strong, send a big fat message to Witness Gaming.
Yeah, if they don't do that, then I'm gonna get very nervous on their behalf because they did lose to Witness Gaming in the first half of the season. I've seen some of their training games against Witness Gaming, and in those scrims, it was pretty even. Like they will win some, they lose some. It's very tight overall, contested, but what we've seen before with TF2Easy is that core of players, they've been very shaky in the early season, and then as the season ramps up, they're basically an anime character just ramping up, right? They get stronger and stronger the farther they get and the better teams that they play against. And they just epitomize that too. So, yeah. Like, if they don't come out swinging now, I'm a little nervous, man, because they do have some rust that they need to shake off, and sometimes it takes more than a season to really get going.
But they should, I feel like, luckily for them, they do have, I think, obviously, if you are TF2Easy, your main focus, honestly, at this point, is probably not even the season. I feel like you're looking at ETF2L, and especially this playoff, as kind of sort of a warm-up. It's a prelude to LAN. I-69, make sure you check that out. There's a link somewhere that I've forgotten that you can go. Maybe it's just
I69.tf, probably.
Yeah. Probably i69.tf, or just Google Insomnia69. There's a Freotech fundraiser somewhere out there. I believe it's floating around on Banny's Twitter. If you feel like giving North America some money, you can go help him out on that. But TF2Easy are going to be going as well. And sort of, if you are going into LAN, you look at these teams, you look at this team, they don't have that much LAN experience across the team. It's going to be interesting to see how they sort of deal with that. But I think the best way to feel comfortable at LAN is to have a really strong showing in the actual season here. So going into this game versus the League of Shadows, I think you do want them to roll. But my question to you now, Beta, is if you are the League of Shadows, what do you do to try and stop TF2Easy? What are your plans of attack? What do you try to target on this team in order to sort of pull out an upset here?
I think a couple of things that I would do just based off of the maps, first of all, is that you can probably slow down the game in a bunch of situations and then just do very annoying things like play banners, play pick classes, spy, sniper, what have you, and just make it very boring and annoying for tf2easy because it's Sunshine, it's Process, it's Metalworks. You can slow all of those maps down. They're kind of known for being just hold on last kind of maps, right? Process not quite so much, but like Metalworks, it's very difficult to send in a soldier effectively while and still having him do anything. There's basically one play. And then on Process and Sunshine, Sunshine's not that good for sending in suiciders either, and then Process is pretty good for it, but like you can definitely hold back and just wait it out because hey, it is 5-minute round timers, so you can abuse that. And usually, whenever I see an upset where a theoretically inferior team beats a better one, it usually involves shenanigans and being annoying and kind of taking them out of their comfort zone. And like theoretically, slowing down the game should probably favor tf2easy, right? Because then you just kind of put them in a situation where Seeds know everything, know exactly what's happening, and Joss will do the same thing. But it could just be that they just want to be in this mindset of we're better than them, so we're just going to roll them, so we just want to push, we're just going to do these plays. And then if that doesn't work, then maybe they get frustrated, and that's where you can really pounce on them. So I think League of Shadows, they have some opportunities here, and they have some things they can work with, and there's several ways that they can make this work.
Yeah. One thing that I'm curious about is if anyone is sort of willing to answer the question of what do you do if somebody is willing to answer the question of the counter sniper, because something that tf2easy can do should they want to. They have two extremely competent snipers on their team in Kunu and Nubby. Both of them are just so good on the class. And sort of having a response to that, because that seems to me to be the immediate sort of way for tf2easy to break a potential stalemate, is send in Nubby, send in Kunu, get a sniper up in there, and they'll probably hit a headshot. If there's anyone in Prem to hit a headshot, it's probably those two. And sort of what you do in response to that, because we are playing Process and Metalworks. Metalworks actually surprisingly good map for sniper. Into second and into I think specifically from mid into second, and then also just on Process, just all over the map, right? Sniper can be really effective. Interesting to me to see what actually happens there. Another thing is Slash, from what I have seen, is very fond of going spy, which is only good when you don't expect it. And last time these two teams played against each other, he played spy an awful lot. And so I think maybe this time around, I wonder, is it going to be as effective? It is a good way to break stalemates, but if the enemy teams know you're coming on spy, it's basically impossible to get anything done.
You just go spy to mid, man. They don't see it coming. There you go. No stalemate to be found either way. But yeah, like Seeds is very good at sniffing out spy plays. Like he's gonna know, and like Gazi as well is usually just running around shooting random corners. I see him do it all the time. So it's going to be very difficult, but like usually the best spy plays happen when it's these kind of off-kilter situations where there's a lot of action going on and people lose track of who died exactly when and what's the situation going to be. Are we actually going to be in a stalemate, or are we actually going to be able to push them out of mid? When you're occupied with those kind of thoughts, then you're more likely to fall victim to some sort of spy play. So yeah, it's not going to be impossible to use them. I wouldn't say Process is the best spy map. Usually the medic is kind of standing on a ledge somewhere where he's kind of out of reach for you, back against the wall. That kind of describes most of the spots that a medic would stand on Process. So I don't expect to see too much spy play, but probably a time or two. That's usually something you can expect, right?
Yeah, it's probably more for the second and the third maps of Sunshine and Metalworks. I think they're a little bit more suited to spy play. Especially Sunshine. I think sniping on Sunshine is not the best. I'm going to be honest. The sightlines aren't that good. But it is quite spy-friendly. There's a lot of small angles and little nooks and crannies you can hide in. And if you're going to play spy, it's on Sunshine, IMO.
Yeah, like it's so easy to just like uncloak in the sewer or something, or on the point where they don't exactly see you directly. Like there's a lot of little areas where you can abuse that. But Oh, look, like we finally have the players coming in here onto this process map. So maybe we should try and do some predictions here, like maybe a score and maybe what you expect to happen. Do you think League of Shadows have any shot whatsoever to get this map or even get rounds?
I don't think they're gonna win process, but I think they have a much better shot on map number 2 of Sunshine. I think this map particularly, I feel like the scouts are probably just outmatched. Something we haven't mentioned that much, but I feel like Flick and Zoe are up against a huge tall task here,
Yeah.
playing against Kunu and Gazi on this at the same time. It's gonna be really, really hard on a map like Process that is so scout favored. I feel like the demo diff probably won't be that big. I think it mostly will sort of resolve into who has the better scouts on Process. Because of that, I don't want to say 5-0 because that means that I'm actually, as a caster, taking a firm position that I think tf2easy should win this handedly. But maybe like a 4-2 on Process.
I'm expecting a bit of a slow start just coming out of it, tf2easy. So I think they're going to struggle a bit. I think they are going to win process as well. And I think the scout difference is a real thing. I'm very excited about Zoe and seeing him play. He's really impressed me throughout the entire season. And, he's pretty damn new. So it's always exciting when you get a new young talent that makes it into players for the first time. You love to see that. But I do think he's a little overmatched here today coming into it. So just the fact that Nobby can do so much stuff on this mid with fast rollouts. Like he can go behind, he can jump the demo quickly. He can abuse the other soldier. He's done it all before and he's probably going to do it again. And he can actually do that on Sunshine as well. But yeah, just for this map, I think it's going to be rather slow. I think there's going to be some beef pushes on last. Going to be some medics surviving. You don't want to go in too hard in the beginning of a playoff game, I feel. That's usually how people approach it. So they try not to make too many mistakes, which usually means that people don't commit quite as much. And then they just end up having a lot of people survive mid and they just kind of retreat once they see that the fight is lost, even though they have 4 or 5 players alive. So I think we're going to be seeing that quite a bit. So my guess is going to be something like 4-2 in favor of tf2easy. That would be my guess. It also does stop at 5, right? We have
yes.
win limit.
Yeah, round limit set to 5. You win 5 rounds, you win the game. It's a new rule. We're becoming Americanized slowly but surely over in Europe. But honestly, so far in the season, I think it's an improvement. I'm gonna be honest. The 5 round makes it so much easier to cast because dead time sucks.
Yeah.
So, no one likes it. I don't think the players like it. I don't think we like it, honestly. Particularly casting dead time is always not very fun. But I'm glad
Are you
to
saying
see.
they don't enjoy us talking about cosmetics? Come on now.
I mean, when we get the polls number 4 tonight, and we have nothing to talk about, and we're just gonna look at some hats. That's unfortunately the oldest trick in the book, and it's the only one we have left at that point. Hopefully we don't get that. Last time it was a bit of a pause fest. I'm hoping this time around that we don't get pauses. We don't like pauses either.
Nobby's internet is great and it's not gonna fail.
I love it.
There
It's
you
fine.
go.
Yep, nope. We're gonna be fine.
Can't go wrong. Love it. Love to see it. All right. Yeah. Whoop. All right. So do we know, is the League of Shadows going to I-69? Do we know yet?
I don't think they are. From my understanding is no. My understanding only, of course, is only through official channels. No leakers, at least not to me anyway. Is the only invite teams we have confirmed at the moment is Froyotech, obviously. Shoutouts to the fundraiser once again. Besides that, we have Witness Gaming, and then we have tf2easy. Are the 3 sort of confirmed invite teams. I know other teams are happening, but they're projects, and it's weird and confusing because people don't like leaking that weird land project teams for some reason. So I mean, we'll know when we know. I assume some of the players are going, but
yeah. All right. I was just kind of curious because I had only heard of the big 3 basically.
Yes,
going so far, but. I'm very curious. I just want to know, man.
Yeah, same.
But
some of us have to prepare for the LAN. We have to figure out what teams are going. We have to take notes about players, and I prefer it if I have more time to do that than less.
you're gonna take notes?
I have so many notes. Chat doesn't know this, but I sent Peter like a 4-page document about TF2Easy earlier today that I wrote with my own 2 hands, and he said that's cool.
Like, yeah, that is too dense for me, man. Like if I'm gonna use that in a cast, it needs to be like in bullet form and very small. Like when I make notes for myself, it's like I'll usually have a bunch of information, then I'll just boil it down to like 2 words, because then you can just autofill in, you know.
Yep.
But that does require you to actually have either read everything completely or made the notes yourself.
Yeah. That's note taking is hard. I think we can all agree. We've all tried it. The notes aren't finished, guys. I'm gonna be honest. That's my cope, is that Beta's calling my notes messy. That's because they're not finished. I also did not format them, but that's fine. Formatting notes is for people that can't read.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know, when I don't have to use my brain for reading, it became much better.
Yes.
Gotta say that.
But we are finally, after we've filled and talked about note-taking techniques, we are live once again. ETF2L Season 42, League of Shadows, TF2Easy. It's the semi-finals. Both these teams are playing for the right to play against Witness Gaming in the grand final. Rolling out to mid is Nasboy, failing the rollout already, so he's a little bit slow. But look at the red team. League of Shadows is so far back. They're playing on their side of Sewer so far. The bomb out of Josh and Nubby doesn't really do anything immediately, but they're rebombing in already. The soldier aggression not quite answered. The bombs are finally coming in out of Nubby, but it's difficult. He's not really finding that much. A lot of damage onto Nasboy, though, and the positioning out of TF2Easy is a little bit wonky. It's a little bit weird. But Gaz has found June in the meantime, and suddenly 2 players, it's just them left. Flick and Slash up, but Flick is far back. He's hiding in a corner right now, only 50 HP. Slash is trying to bomb in, trying to do the skip jump, trying to get him.
And Scout's on the medic as well.
Escape plan out, and he gets nothing. Kunu finds 3, and it's a mid victory for TF2Easy.
Yeah, this is what more Lexi does best. Right, he just cleans up so efficiently every single time. It was a very interesting mid. It was basically League of Shadows standing in the middle with 2 TF2Easy players on each side of them. It's a very dangerous situation for both teams, because if you get overwhelmed, like you can get crunched if you're League of Shadows, but you can also just get overwhelmed if you're TF2Easy, 2 sides at a time. But they're going to Uber in right now with the full Ugrad.
Yeah, the Uber comes in, the sniper just immediately out of spawn, doesn't really get much going, and there's so much cap time on the point. It's just 2 scouts standing there, and there's only 1 soldier. Slash and Scar both taken down. It's a round for TF2Easy, and that was very, very fast.
Yeah, it's waste no time. They didn't even clean the point properly of Stiggies, really. They just took most of them off and then just had 2 scouts on it for a little while. And then it was basically cap, which forced everyone to jump in onto it and then get annihilated really easily. So very quick 1-0. That doesn't quite fly with what I was saying. You have Nobby flying in again. Looks like he's going to see if he can fight the soldier here to begin, but yeah, nothing really happens out of that immediately.
Yeah, the soldiers, both teams kind of spamming, trying to set up to see where they can go. Delhi taking the enemy pack so far, and there we go. Bomb comes in, but Josh has found a kill into June. Delhi dead as well. And suddenly this mid is really difficult now. It's hard for League of Shadows because they're all stuffed in a corner. Flick is so low in the pack, and he's just taken down. Scar's popping up into scouts. And it's so tragic. Slash and Scar, the bombs came in, but they didn't find any kills. That's another mid fight for TF2Easy. They're taking this in style.
Gassy just put on the brakes there. Kind of ironic considering his name. But yeah, like those soldiers jump up. They didn't quite time it right. They probably could have jumped at the same time if they had a little more ice in their veins, but Gassy just completely denied both of them. They didn't even get close to seats, and he now has this full Urad. They're about to come in. I think he's just like pumping in a few heals. If he just dodges the laser beam, there's going to be a good push.
Uber coming in onto Nasboy, pretty much immediately finds 2 kill. Delhi and Flick gets taken down in the spawn. So now the sentry gun is taken down as well. They've managed to focus that. The soldier bombs are coming in, but at what cost? There's just no players to hold it, and unfortunately TF2Easy are up in 2 rounds in 4 minutes.
Yeah, this is not looking good. This is exactly what you'd hope to see for TF2Easy if you're a fan of them. For sure. Delhi dying immediately there basically meant that the push was going to work. It was kind of the same thing as the first push, just cleaner, where you take down the demo man, you put people on the point. Oh, Nobby's in very quickly. Doesn't quite get Either the med pick or the... Oh.
That's a weird start to the mid, right? Because now you're down a soldier. Sure, Nubby did work. We have to follow up on it somehow. Gazzy's dead, but so is June. She gets taken down. Nubby has gone down there at the very beginning of the mid, but so is Nastboy at the very end, which means no Demo Man. Seeds lives, though. With
Yeah,
no
that
demo,
turned into a
can't
sack
hold
wave,
point.
basically. As soon as they lost Nobby, like, he didn't get the Demo Man, he didn't steal their med kit, and then he got taken down. Like, at that point, it was basically just like Josh and more or less just going in there with Naspo as well. And then they just suicided onto the medic. They got you, Seeds ran out with Gaz, and now they're going to be able to push out here onto second. Gaz is actually on Pyro.
Oh my god, it begins.
Yeah, this is what we're going to... Oh, he actually runs back. Okay. He has been known to just keep playing Pyro on push-outs, but maybe that's not the smartest idea when you have a big Uberad. But this is a pretty difficult Uberad to use. You can see June's standing pretty far back. Very difficult to get in through this choke without getting spammed out and having to actually pop through. And they're kind of just wasting this Uberad. They don't want to push on it. That's very surprising. I feel like on Gollywas this would have never happened. They would have just pushed immediately. But didn't feel like actually covering the distance here, and we're going to be settling in for the first stalemate of the game.
I feel like they definitely had time to push in there. I'm pretty sure if we saw Witness Gaming with that Uber advantage, they probably would have pushed. A little bit of a stylistic difference that tf2easy playing a little bit safe, not willing to make that play, not willing to just go for the out DM, go for the outplay. Instead, they're letting Slash sack in and not really find anything.
Oh,
Nubby, and instead, even Uber's Nubby's in, but he only finds 50 damage on June, doesn't get the force out in the end. So now, just gonna posture right back up. Both teams one player down, and the question is now, any off classes coming out so far? It's League of Shadows playing around on Kaida.
On the flank there, actually wins against Josh. I'm sure he's gonna get picked off here, but he is still behind lines, and this is very annoying. Okay, Nobby does come in here and should clean him up. But there's so much pressure coming in here from everyone involved with Zoe going down here. This is not part of the plan. They need to get out now.
I like kind of the idea, sending in Scar behind in the meantime as they're trying to sort of pressure in front, try to capitalize off the chaos, but Nasboy has to turn around, has to check a corner because there's another soldier standing there. Unlucky for Slash, he doesn't find the kill. And that's a really good pickup now for tf2easy. They're 3 dead, make that 4 on the League of Shadows, and they unfortunately just crumble a little bit. tf2easy, they push the W buttons and they manage to make it work. Now Scar sitting in choke, but they are still 2 players down, and the TF2 train keeps coming.
Yeah, Slash could have definitely waited for the medic there, right? Because no one was checking that corner. But either way, opportunity lost. They're going to push in here now. It's even Uber. I think they're just trying to kind of look for a way to get Nobby in, but he's being spammed out, so not quite able to get in here yet. Looks like he's finally in, though. Gets
one rocket. Gets the force out onto June. That's huge.
He survives, dude.
Oh, of course. He would survive. Nubby's just, I mean, he's just better. Unfortunately, when you have probably, at least in contention, for the best roamer in Europe, I think the battle between him and Syl are really, really close. But that's such a huge pick for them now. Giant advantage. You can see Flick is already building the gun on last. They're just not on second at all. Delhi is in rollout, but it's tf2easy. They're taking second already. 50% is on June right now, and she has to get this up in time. It's going to be difficult because look at Gaz. He's already capping the point. They're getting ready to push last. They're walking in through lobby already. Uber hasn't come out. They're just spamming down the gun. It's dead already now. Uber comes out. There's no real kills actually. Heavy on the top here. Decent cap time onto the point, but so far no kills to be found here for tf2easy. The Heavy does so much work onto Gaz. Forces him off the soldier bombs as well. It's a kill onto Scar, but they just don't stand on the point. More Alexi with the daylight robbery makes it 3-0.
I was looking at that the entire time, and I didn't even notice the point being capped because like everyone was right there. Like he did it right in front of their face. That fight was going really well for League of Shadows. Like June survived, and like Delhi still had stickies on the point, and then it just all of a sudden went bad. All right, Nobby, okay, doesn't go for the demo this time around.
Yeah, no pressure on the Demo Man immediately here this time around. It is Delhi still playing so aggressively onto the enemy pack, but Nasboy just finds the kill onto him instead, and it's another one onto Scar who bombs in and finds nothing. The health on League of Shadows is just not there, and they have to run out of middle. Look at how low June is. Has to walk back here, needs the team around her. but it's a mid capture here. It's a 20 ad here. Honestly, tf2easy, they could push this if they want to. They have the kills. No demo man. Deli's still not with his team, but to scout the high ground, and it looks like maybe they can hold it for now.
They know she didn't
tf2easy, they're
heal as
pressuring.
well. They know she didn't heal, right? Because Josh was chasing her. He's gonna jump in.
Nubby? Oh, okay. Making me scared for June right there. Almost gets that. I feel like did he just run out of rockets? I feel like he could have just shot one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he spent too many rockets jumping. Oh, they're actually just going to Uber through. That's interesting.
Yeah, the Uber's just coming out right now onto Flick. They don't really, I mean, I guess they managed to get the trade. Nothing else is really happening. The post Uber not good enough to be able to push, and they're just going to go back to second. So they've equalized the Uber that was already equal. But, okay, sure.
I mean,
I guess
Ubers
now we're in a
now,
situation
right?
where neither team has Uber.
Yeah. It makes it a little harder to be punished, I guess, if you send in a suicider. But that should favor the team on the middle. So not quite sure what they were hoping to achieve there. I think maybe their plan was to go in through that little entrance, and then the Uber's going to be on the midpoint, basically, right? And then you just swing over to the choke, and then maybe you can get the demo man standing there or something, right? So maybe that's a play that they've done before, and that it's worked out, but this time around didn't really achieve much. Nubby looks like he wants to get in there. There's a scout just waiting. Flick is just sitting there. Jump, bro, jump, please.
Oh no, Deli.
Oh,
Deli's so low, he almost goes down there. And he does. He's picked off by Nasboy, and with the demo man down, it's gone from bad to worse here for the League of Shadows. You really need that demo to be able to lock down choke here. You can see tf2easy, they immediately rotate around now. The bomb's going to come in out of one member here. It's Slash, but he just has the bomb out back immediately. And even though it's even Ubers, tf2easy, they have a demo man. The enemy team doesn't. You can just see the pressure comes out. It is huge. But actually, so far, Strikers managed to find a kill into Gazi. Decent start so far. The Ubers is going to fade for both teams. And the high ground for tf2easy is not quite there. Damage has been dealt. They are just running back to mid here. Once again, the trade happened, but unfortunately, the Uber responded in kind. The League of Shadows, they managed to keep it holding.
Yeah, it was great pressure. Oh my god, Skak is completely destroyed there by his soldier. I think that was Josh just airshotting the ever-living daylights out of him. So that was a great job. That's going to be a big retreat. Yeah, like in the last Uber fight, it was really great pressure, but tf2easy didn't quite manage to get out once the fight or the Ubers came in, and they were a bit too split up, and some of them got picked off in the fight. So then they had to retreat there. But luckily, Josh comes in there, saves the day, and now Nubby, see if he can do the same. One good rocket. Not quite. The scout's in the way. The bodyguard's in full effect, and here comes the counter-sack.
Yeah, the counter-sack is in, but Slash doesn't really manage to find anything either. Scar tries to go through sewer, but unfortunately for him, it's just players sat on top already. So both teams just rotating right back, and this is when we have to start talking about the new round time. As you can see it at the top there, it's only a minute and 50 seconds left, and Nubby is going to try and break the stalemate with a sniper. He's sacked in a few times, and he's finally decided to give it a go. Interesting to see, where does he snipe from? You can see, honestly, how far back the League of Shadows are playing. It's going to be difficult for him to find an angle. It's through sewer is the choice. But June already maybe expecting it, sitting behind point. No, she's rotating up. The shot is almost
and
there.
she's fallen down.
Connect.
This is going to be so hard to actually get back onto the point. This is such an annoying situation. But yeah, usually when you play sniper, it's in there. But it is pretty funny that he went sniper, right? Like his KD has suffered enough. He's going to go on a class that doesn't die all the time. But he doesn't have a whole lot of time to work with. Sniper is notoriously slow, and the choke is not usually a good place to snipe. But he's just going to walk in there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very optimistic.
It's actually a decent damage being dealt, but it's Nesboy primarily who just sends an absolute nuke into choke, and that's a force.
It's a
coming in onto
pop.
June. Now Seeds has massive advantage. So I guess the sniper died, but it managed to make it so that the League of Shadows, they just lose all their players going in.
Oh my god, again.
Destroys Scar with a nice little rocket there. He tries to get into Seeds onto Nasboy, and unfortunately gets airshot by Josh, and that's such a big advantage for them now. They have the Uber. They want to go into last here.
Yeah, this is what I call the patented beater sniper play, where I go sniper and they overextend trying to kill me. And then it works out. But they're going to Uber in right now. Demoman is in spawn, but they haven't quite cleared out the point yet. Everyone's just rotating around. It's actually going pretty well. Just teams on both sides right now trying to take each other out, but slowly but surely, everything's just going down. This is a crunch. Oh my god, this worked out way better than I thought it would.
Yeah, tf2easy just kind of win in the individual DM fronts there. I was sort of mainly watching Kunu there, taking the 1v1 with the soldier on the point, and as he does that, the rest of his team just all decide to collectively win their own 1v1s, and they just get the round in the end. They take that fight. It should have honestly been pretty even, but with the superior DM, just end up winning out. So this time around on mid, you see Nubby. He's fast, but he's playing on the height. Not going in immediately. The spam is kind of being traded so far. Scar's actually bombing in quite quickly, and so is Slash. It's decent damage onto Nasboy, but it's no kills. But the positioning is so bad, but it doesn't matter,
needs to get out,
because all the League of
so
Shadows are just dead.
Oh, no, yeah, that was a perfect mid from tf2easy. They got so much work done, completely denied all the aggression coming out of the League of Shadows, and they're already on last. They haven't capped mid yet, and they're already spawn capping them. They'd be kicked from top servers, Wandum. This is bad.
Yeah, this is such a big mental edge for them as well. You're looking at this situation, right? You're the League of Shadows. You play this first map process, you get stomped this hard. How'd you feel going into the next map? Because they had no shot. 15 minutes, 5-0. This is the tf2easy that you do not want to see if you're Witness Gaming.
Yeah. Did League of Shadows even get onto did they ever get onto the side of tf2easy?
Yeah, they did. They pushed second once, I think.
Okay.
And then once or twice, but I don't think they ever really. No, they were on last once. We saw a Gazi Pyro coming out of last.
Oh, that's true.
One time.
Yeah. And they immediately recaptured second there because they had Uber at. Yeah, that was the best League of Shadows got out of that. So that's pretty eerie. That's not quite what you want to see. Oh boy, yeah, this is gonna be rough, man. But hey, you did say that Sunshine is probably a better map for them. Like Process is very, very good for what tf2easy does, and hopefully Sunshine can be a bit better. We'll see. I'm trying to find hope here.
Yeah. I wonder what the copium take is now if you're tf2easy. Or rather, the League of Shadows. If you're trying to sort of copium yourself into trying to maybe believe that you have a chance on map number 2 and you get rolled like that, what do? I guess you just kind of take a break. Hope for the best. Seeds didn't die, by the way.
Zero.
Yeah, just zero deaths. Casually. No big deal. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Kunu didn't die either.
Oh my god.
Wow, okay. Infinite KD gamers.
Yeah.
As what I'm seeing. I mean, look at Deli. Deli didn't get a kill. He went 007.
007 secret.
The James Bond KD.
Yeah. That's not what you want.
I was looking in the server chat. Deli was saying, I'm James Bonding. And I didn't know what he meant. And then I looked at the KD and now I get it.
Oh,
that
my
is.
God.
Oh boy.
That's amazing. That's a thing now.
And that paints a terrifying picture. Because then you look across the board, right? You're Nasboy going 15-2 with 380 DPM. Going into Sunshine, notoriously demo-centric map. You're feeling good as tf2easy. If you're the League of Shadows, you really need Deli to step up here. He has the carry in parentheses in his name. When he's performing like this, we need him to have a better showing if he's League of Shadows want any chance on Sunshine.
Yeah, but I will say I don't feel like it's so much the demo difference. It's more like the pressure from the entire team makes it so that it's very difficult for Deadly to play and very easy for Nasboy to play. You know, I don't want to downplay his performance or anything, but like usually when the difference between the demo main is this stark, it's usually because of the entire team just being overpowered. Yeah. Like if you've ever played Demo Man in a lobby, you'll know how difficult that is, right? And then you play with a team, and even though it's a much higher level, it just feels so much easier as a Demo Man. And just because you need that team support to really make it work. It's not like Deli wasn't doing damage, it's just no one was able to follow up on it.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate, right? When you have these situations, we saw it in one of the last pushes as well, where it just honestly came down to a DM fest, and tf2easy, they didn't lose a single one of those fights, pushing that last on the on the penultimate round number 4. Going into last, it's an even Uber situation. Neither team is Uber. They're 5 players up on both sides, and they just win all the 1v1s. So now you're the League of Shadows. You have to reach in the cupboard. You have to reach in deep, find the old gas canister, and just look for maybe not even the copium. Maybe we're looking for some hyper copium to try and just sort of, maybe Deli can come back. I saw that crits clip at one point, and he just killed everyone, and Grumpy Koi was screaming, and I think it's gonna happen now.
Yeah, just that. I know what the play is. Spider mid, backstab C, just ruin it for him.
They can win. They can win. I believe in them.
Yeah, I think the key at this point for League of Shadows is to make it more chaotic. Maybe do some weird pushes. Maybe, do what that Uber push they did with the double scout in when it was even Ubers, and then re-push after that somehow, right? That's not a normal thing to do, but I think maybe that's just kind of the thing they have to resort to at this point, because it is looking really dire, and you can't just allow Seeds and more Lexes to run around and not die. You have to kill them. Can you imagine, Seeds is not gonna be you can't be in the same building as him if he doesn't die.
Slash and Scar had such a difficult time playing against Gazi and Kuno. They just got denied every single turn. We saw them. They didn't have a single successful bomb, because if they had a successful bomb, they would have gotten onto Seeds, but they just didn't. And the scouts play such a huge role in that. Obviously Seeds as well, making sure he's in the right position at the right time to just have the bombs being effective. But now, going into Sunshine is another map where, as a soldier, you can be really creative. There are opportunities for you to go around, create funny angles, do cool jumps, get onto the medic unsuspected, and we're going to have to see them come out with it here this time on Sunshine, because otherwise, once again, we're going to be looking at another very fast roll here.
Yeah, but it is also worth noting that it's really important right now when you're in League of Shadows to just keep on going, because there is a risk that maybe tf2easy, they're going to lose a bit of their focus right now. Usually what happens when you roll a team like this in a very comfortable win, you just kind of lose some of your competitive edge, you're not quite as stressed out and quite as worried and quite as on your game, because you just kind of feel relaxed and comfortable and easy, and that can sometimes really be a detriment to us. Some players play better when that's the case. Other people, they need to be on their toes in order to really maximize what they can do.
Yeah, it's I think it's the hallmark of a good team to be able to keep the focus now, right? For both teams. For both teams, right? I mean, if you're League of Shadows, just trying to get the mental reset, still have that belief that you need to have. If you want to win in TF2, you kind of have to believe yourself at some point. Otherwise, you're not going to go for the plays that you need to go for in order to win the game. And vice versa, as you're saying, if you're TF2easy, now it's about keeping the focus, making sure that you carry on the momentum into the second map, not letting the League of Shadows get a single inch. And I mean, if they can stamp their foot down, they can make this a double 5-0 roll. It sends such a message to the rest of Prem that TF2easy are back into their winning ways.
Yeah, they don't have time for this. They have coffee to drink and goldfish to feed. They cannot be bothered with this game. Let's just get this over with, win 5-0 and get out of here. Just straight on to the finals. That's kind of the message that I'm feeling right now. And we are about to go live, so League of Shadows, let's hope they have a strong mid coming into this. The first thing I'm going to be looking for sure is whether or not Nobby's going to come careening into the skybox and maybe land on the demo man. We'll see here.
Once again, we are in ETF2L Season 42. It's TF2easy making it look that way versus the League of Shadows on map 1 of Process. Now we're on Sunshine, as Nubby actually playing it quite slow in his own cafe.
Airballed by the scout Christmas ball.
So now finally the bombs are coming through. It's actually decent damage. Look at Seeds, drops quite low. There's no real kills. It's one kill onto Gaz, but Delhi now goes down to Nubby. And the positioning out of tf2easy is honestly for either team, it's not that good. Neither team really has the high ground. It's killing to Kunu now. 3 dead for both teams. Nass is on low ground. Nubby finally jumps up into the high ground, but he's versus 2 scouts here. Has to try and win the... has to hit some rockets here to try and win the mid, and it's difficult. I think he might have delayed for just long enough. Now it's hard for Seeds and Nasboy, who just kind of have to pop the Uber. They have to just walk back. They get this Uber out. If you're League of Shadows, this is pretty much as good as the mid could have gone. You have full advantage. Sure, there's a player behind, but he's already been cleaned up. You have a giant advantage.
Yeah, really good job by them not allowing Seeds to get out of there. And, you know, without using his Uber. So he's going to have a massive Uber disad. They killed more Lexi on mid. That's already an achievement considering the first map. They're being very slow, I feel like.
This is the thing, when you're playing against a team with Nubby on a map like Sunshine with so many corners, it's so hard to push in and not just check every single one to make sure that he's not behind on your team. But the Uber comes in now, it's on to Delhi. So far, it's a kill onto Josh. Sentry gun shot down as well. Now, it's a matter of regrouping, refocusing, and it's damage onto Nubby. Pipes onto Kunu, but the Uber comes out of Siege just barely in time. Nubby still goes down, and so does Nasboy. It's actually a kill onto Kunu as well, just a heavy up on the point. Gazzy has to do everything, but he's taken down. Just Siege left alive, and the League of Shadows, they clap back on a map 2. It's a round win, and it's a fast one as well.
Yeah, this is exactly what they needed. This is going to feel really good for them. It feels good for me. And I'm not even really cheering for them. So, yeah, this is exactly what the doctor ordered. We can do it too. Is it about to be a 5-0 in the other direction? Maybe not. But, yeah, they are ahead. And it was just all off of the back of a really good mid. So let's see if they can have another one of those.
Yeah, Nasboy getting pretty aggressive onto enemy Tetris so far. tf2easy are being met by the League of Shadows, but this time they're sending June into the stratosphere and Delhi into the respawn queue. The HP of League of Shadows goes down to 0 pretty much immediately. They try to fight them on their Tetris and they just lose.
Yeah, that was... again, just the scouts doing so much work there, just basically bending the soldiers' flight path to their will, and then a lot of damage coming out from everyone in the explosive classes. So now it's going to be the exact opposite situation. Maybe it's just going to be the entire map is just one on mid. We'll see. It's another big Uber ad this time around. It's on Seeds. I think it's just buffing everyone up before they try to push in here. But there's a long time until this Uber comes in on June, so they have a lot of time to work with, and they're going to go in through this left side.
Sentry gun shot down by Nubby before the push even begins. It's just a level 1, and look at the damage onto June. It's so huge. Delhi taken down so low as well, and the point pressure's coming in. But the players, Nasboy actually taken down. There's a huge driving force for this team. It's just not there anymore, and they're forced back. tf2easy not able to find the point. It's decent damage onto Scar. He gets taken down, but look at this heavy. Zoe has just been standing there the whole time, pumping out damage. And they're rotating over to right side. Now it's Slash dead as well. Zoe has to be careful. It's damage onto him, onto the point, but they've held it off for now.
I think they're just going to wait until Seeds get another one, to be honest. Like, the respawners are about to come in. I don't know why they're actually pushing. It feels like a very weird timing, but I guess they just want this heavy dead more than anything else in the entire world. They're doing a lot of work right now, pushing
it's so much damage. Look at the kills are just coming out. They just decide once again, just take the DM fight. They have the Uber ad as well. It's coming in towards the end of the push. But then, I mean, tf2easy heads up push there immediately. They get their respawners, send it right back in, kill off the heavy, and that's a good round for them.
Yeah, pushing on 75% was ballsy there. I feel like most other teams would have just waited. But Seed was just like, nah, I can stay alive until I have this Uber. So that's exactly what he did. Worked out really well for them, very clean. But gotta say, it's pretty bold to just take those kind of DM fights. And Nobby still hasn't done anything quick as far as rollouts go.
You know, this time around, it's just... I mean, League of Shadows, they finally elect to trade sides over. We're going to the classic Snake on Sunshine in mid, rather. But it's actually Josh and Nubby. They're taken down pretty much immediately here. Slash is low, but it should be fine. Should be getting an arrow. And now we're in this weird situation where tf2easy are on the wrong second. They're going to try to weasel their way out of this, but how do you do it? The Uber's coming out of siege just barely, and now the Uber comes forward, hit Kunu. June actually doesn't have, but Deli finally gets taken down. Nasboy dead in the background as well, and now June has the Uber. The trade is coming out, and it's so much damage. Soldiers come in, and it's huge. Gazzy's so low, has to play onto second here, and the soldier on top as well cannot do anything. League of Shadows, they should be looking to push in. They have the players here, and no medic for tf2easy. They could try to hold this, but how?
Yeah, the only thing they can do is to threaten the bombs onto the medic. That's basically all they have to go on right now, but no one's getting close to June at any time soon. So Gazzy, he's going to go on to engineer. See, more or less, he's going to go on to the sniper just for a little bit, just to see if he can get some sort of entry pick. June does have the full Uber. She's about to go in. I think they're going to go top right, but I'm not quite sure yet. Sniper is watching that, so it's just going to have to pop on entry.
Yeah, the Uber comes out, the sniper body shot makes it so Deli's bomb is a little bit scuffed. He gets the kill onto the sentry gun anyway, but it's a really early kick onto Flick here, and Striker going down as well means that the kill onto Josh is not that big. Now June, she's dead as well, and it's just two up. Scar and Deli, the only ones there for the team, and they're just running for the hills. Unfortunately, the push doesn't really come out. Flick gets taken down, and we have, guys, we tried to save us from the pause, but unfortunately, not enough of you typed Prage in chat, and so unfortunately we have a pause, guys.
Welcome to the first pause of the game. One out of many, I'm sure. There's good times. All right, do you think Scar is going to win this fight? You know, just dodge magically with his entire HP, his one solitary hit point. Going to dodge all of the bullets, hit all of the direct rockets, and ace the entire enemy team. What do you think? That's my prediction.
I agree. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to be honest. I was messaging Ignis because he's sending me funny messages and it's distracting me. Shoutouts to Ignis. Right now, okay. Do you see the rocket that Scar has fired out of his rocket launcher?
Yeah.
What is the odds that Kunu presses the A button on his keyboard? 0, apparently, because he just goes down. We're on pause. And now Scar's taken down as well. Look at this. June just spawns here. Deli's far back on mid as well. So tf2easy, they have a giant advantage here. They're sitting on the second, looking to push into mid. If you're the League of Shadows, how do you respond to this giant advantage?
I think they're just playing to send in Slash. He's in the bell tower. And, oh, all right, welcome to the second pause of the game.
Guys, pause number 2. I want you, everyone in chat right now, to stay focused. I want you to type the number of the pause it is. So now in chat, you press 2. You press 2, you press enter, and you write 2 in chat. We're going to count the pauses together as the unpause comes back. It might have been a pause-unpause kind of thing, just to let the player rejoin the server, maybe?
It usually takes a lot less time than that.
Yeah, that's why I'm concerned. So who's having... Nubby wouldn't be having internet trouble, would he?
No. Nubby's internet is great.
Yeah, that's fine. Can you imagine what happens when Nubby's on LAN?
I think he's not going to be able to play. Like, can he play on anything less than 60 ping? I don't think so.
It's like, do you remember when Shadowburn, like, unfortunately didn't make it to I-55, but everyone's like, what's going to happen when this guy who normally plays on 70 ping and 60 hertz shows up to LAN, plays on 120 hertz and no ping, and he's already the best roamer in Prem? But unfortunately, the community was denied. I think it's probably one of the biggest injustices in TF2 history, so we never got to see Shadowburn on LAN.
Yeah, that is a big shame. All right, I'm kind of curious. So Scar's not in there? Okay, does get taken down in the bell tower. I guess they're going to just say that that's good enough for us. That means they're not going to push on us, so we can just sit back. We don't need to send in a soldier to suicide or anything. And that's probably going to be the case here as well. So,
yeah.
Oh, Josh is
it Josh? All right, Nubby right now. He's sitting around in choke, trying to maybe get through here. It's even Ubers. So Josh and Nubby, respectively, they both kind of just want to get in through choke, do the soldier bomb, the skip jump. Then maybe get in onto a force, onto June. You can see them playing around Choke right now. But look at the sticky bombs. They're standing right on them. Finally, someone with a bit of sense. Gazzy comes and helps them, cleans them up. The pressure now coming into Cafe. Trying to get around here. Decent jump coming out of Slash. And there we go. Nubby sent it. He's all the way in onto June, but doesn't quite get the force.
Oh, no,
June is
June.
50. But June
June
has
down.
timed out. That's an insane bomb out of Nubby. Can you believe it?
Like, he doesn't even need to kill them. They just disconnect.
Bombs her so hard she disconnects from the server.
Yeah. I think they're gonna give her saws. That's nice.
Yeah, I think that's the move.
You can see they're all the way in there.
No fun allowed. 3
Oh,
seconds.
and then she immediately
Oh.
times out again.
Yeah.
Good
Okay. This is unfortunately what happens when German internet's involved. It's also famously terrible.
Yeah,
So
welcome
I've
to
heard
tea
some
time
horror stories.
in TF2 Prem.
Yep. Alright, this time around she's gonna get swords, it's gonna be fine. She's gonna saw her way back up to 100%. Okay, there we go,
Yeah.
nice. And then both teams are gonna walk away, everything's gonna be fine. And then Nobby's probably gonna bomb back in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, immediately drop her. That would be the most fitting thing. All right, I think we're live again. That's a nice little bit of sportsmanship being showcased here, as they just give her the Uber again. Uber saws are still a thing. Could you imagine if she was on the bus, the head? You couldn't do that.
Just cling on the statue. Just can't.
Yeah.
That would
try-
have been a shame. Oh, Nubby's in onto June, doesn't find the rockets,
Hey.
does find a flick. It's not the end of the world. Getting something is better than nothing. Kuno's in the sky, and he almost gets to the... That was so close. As Scar and Slash, they combine for a kill onto Kuno. They combine for a lot of damage in Cafe. Josh is quite low as well. It's 2 dead now for TF2easy. Gotta be careful sitting on mid here. You see them holding a bit further back. Josh is on the high ground. And League of Shadows, they should be looking to push in.
I think they've dilly-dallied quiet a bit too long right now. They're too slow. Nobby's in again. Didn't really... I feel like he probably missed a speed shot or something. All right, he's gonna go again.
Oh! I could see that ash shot in my brain. I could, like, he was gonna shoot it through, like, the archway through the point and onto June, and it would have been insane, but unfortunately, none of this was happening. It's actually just a kill onto Slash. So the trade room is once again
Yeah,
back to where
somehow
we were.
it looks so cool when you like hit people through
It does.
like those doors, like and the doorways like that. I think Fane, if you know who that is. That's,
Yes.
yeah, he hit like an insane air shot like through the point like that this season. It looks so good. All right, Nobby's in again.
Aw.
Rip in peace his KD as it just steadily goes down. Josh dies as well, so this should open up a lot of doors for these soldiers to come in. They might just want to time it up here. So one soldier gonna jump in behind Slash. I almost feel like they didn't see it. He was so fast in there. Everyone's being pushed back. And Slash is about to come in. I think he's trying to spawn camp.
Yeah, he's just spawn capping right now. I guess it's decent for him, but the Pyro out of Gazzy just completely shuts him down. Now he's behind, he's 100 HP, and he doesn't have much of anything to do. He's on fire as well. He's trying to get in, but there's just so many players on him in a valley there, so he ends up getting taken down, and now League of Shadows, they're down 2 players. They have to run back to second, maybe. I hope not further, but it might actually end up being just the case, because Scar is now dead already. Positioning's just not quite there for them. They're so far back, and they just end up opting for the trade, but I don't think it's a good one here. You have to think of the post-over situation right now. Kuno is low, but Nubby actually gets taken down already. Flick on the low ground, but TF2easy, they have the high ground now. I think it might be over for Anakin. Flick wants to go in. He's going in onto Seeds. He gets the shots, and hits the shots onto Nasboy as well. The collapse is here because Zoe has found some kills onto the enemy team as well. He's actually just 1v3ing as he finds everything on the flank.
Yeah, that was crazy from Flick. Just so much work, just carrying the team on his back right now. But the backhand is going on.
Oh no, Nubby! Nubby just finds June with the body shot and choke as well. He just spawns with the sniper, takes down June, and the advantage that the League of Shadows got has been just completely diminished. It's much harder for them to go in now. You can see how scared they have to play off the sniper as well. The sightline in onto mid is really good. Nubby has to be careful as well.
Okay,
Scouts on high ground is still scary.
Shouldn't they have just let the mid expire there? Like it was like 4 seconds. They could have just let that expire and got a mid fight instead of losing it like this. That would have been way smarter, right?
Surely, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
but unfortunately, sometimes we're in the heat of the moment. It doesn't always work out. I think that's one of the things. It's going to take a couple of seasons for teams to get used to, right? It's playing for that round timer. You're just so used to not having to deal with it, and now when it's 5 minutes, much more of an actual thing, where, yeah, you would probably just prefer to take the mid-fight instead of having to go back to your second. But, I mean, yeah, now Nubby's on Sniper, and tf2easy, they kind of have to play around it, unless he just goes in for some sort of crazy hero shot. They have to keep playing around it, keep creating angles for you. See how far back June has to play. She knows how scary this can be. If she makes one mistake, it could just be the end of an Uber charge for her, but look at Slash. In from behind. In the meantime, Nubby dead as well. The Uber trade is coming in and is doing decent work. Uber comes out of seeds, but 3 of his players are already dead. They just have to use it to run all the way back, and the team is already there. Slash and Scar, they're on mid. Deli's bombing in, trying to get damage down. Doesn't really get it in time, but they've taken control of mid now. They're gonna get this cap back, and they're down. I mean, 2 players. The spawners do not come in, actually. Just barely, so they can push of this, should they please.
Yeah, this is huge. Gonna be a big engagement right now coming up for them. Unfortunately, Deli goes down very quickly.
Oh, the pipes.
Oh my god. Those are really good plays.
The pipes out of Nasboy completely shut it down there. They lose 2 immediately. Deli, unfortunately, just kind of honestly oversteps a little bit. Ends up having to hit a lot of pipes onto a scout that he just misses completely. Now Zoe taken down and lower as well. Means that suddenly League of Shadows, they were getting in. They had a decent pick advantage, but they just lost it in the end. Now they're on middle, but can they hold this? They don't have high ground. They almost have an Uber charge. Looks like they do want to fight this. They're far back. Slash is weak as well. The positioning is not there because the air shot is coming out of Nubby as well. And it's so hard now for the League of Shadows to contest this. They're trying to. They want to make it work. But the damage onto Deli is huge. The damage onto Nubby is bigger, though. Scar dead as well in the meantime. Even Uber's still. Now both teams, it's just finding a kill onto Zoe. That's a scout down, but the damage coming out of Deli is huge. Hits 2 pipes onto Kunu, onto Nasboy. The scout now of Flick gets a kill onto Gazi. The counter Uber comes out, and June is left alone. She's not with the rest of the team, but she manages to catch the surf out. She's on to second. 2 soldiers. It's a soldier, actually, and a scout rather, just in. They're trying to get this kill onto Nasboy. It's a kill onto Josh. It's a kill onto Nasboy. And this fight is still going on, and it's still the League of Shadows. They find themselves in an advantage. Now it's no Demo Man, and tf2easy, they cannot hold second.
What a roller coaster of events, right? It just went back and forth so many times. June manages to surf out and survive that fight. Probably the big thing that's going to really enable this whole push to actually happen. Soldiers and Slash manages to actually get in there before the sentry gun is properly set up. And the scouts are in as well, but 2 scouts against the sentry gun. I think the sentry gun actually wins that fight, even when the medic is pumping them full of heals. So they're going to back out. Seeds actually have a slight Uber, so they definitely can't go in there and do some sort of dot push or anything. So we're just going to be able to set up here, see what they try to do to break this hold. Because, you know, there's a sentry gun. There's, I think that's going to be a sniper eventually. It's just checking the classes in spawn right now.
Oh, the Pyro.
Oh, they kind of swapped classes there.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the more Alexi Pyro ever.
They do this sometimes, right? I think maybe it's just a case of maybe Gaz is also just a more competent engineer, which honestly would not surprise me. The Pyro main is also an engineer player. But the sentry gun actually just taken down immediately. The Pyro doesn't do anything. The Uber is forced out of seeds because in the meantime, Slash has managed to weasel his way in behind. Now, though, you could see how far back low the League of Shadows are playing here. They don't really have the players to try and contest second. They have an Uber charge, but they can only really hold in Cafe. tf2easy, they know this. They have to try and contest, have to try and get the Uber force out and turn. Nasboy, a little bit of a loose cannon. He's on the no-skill weapon.
Oh yeah, I want to hear that double donk sound. June comes back in with the full Uber. That's going to just shoo everyone out.
It's a decent kill. It's a decent start here for the League of Shadows. They found a kill on Kunu. He's now dead, and now the rest of the team, they're just going in. They have an advantage here. Sentry gun taken down by Flick. Sticky's across the point, is shot away, but there's damage coming in onto the point. They haven't found a kill. They have to kill this heavies. Gaz is now dead. So is Josh. Slash is taken down, but the pipes out of Deli are massive. The HP is so low. Everyone is 50, but the follow-up is not quite there. The League of Shadows, they had it in their grasp. But tf2easy, they managed to hold it just barely, and they stay on second.
One nuke sticky there would have just made all the difference for the League of Shadows, but unfortunately, it doesn't exist. All right, Nobby's just in. He's just jumping around. A bit silly there. Should probably wait for the rest of his team.
He's just back in. He's just taking 1v1 with one soldier at a time, just saying, nope, don't care, my mid now, as he jumps around, and that makes a lot of space, actually, for his team. They have this giant advantage. The Zoe Sniper now. They're actually sitting in lower lobby. This is an interesting angle. I actually don't think I've seen this before. She just has free reign over Cafe and Choke. Might be able to get a pick. Oh, nope. He's just going to walk back here. Now, because they're in Valley, this like position actually kind of blows. As Slash taken down already. They're far back in lobby. He's still trying to snipe through lower, but he hasn't found anything. But they might have delayed for long enough. June is 70%. As Seed still has 100. The sentry gun being built, immediately taken down. tf2easy, they want to go in off this. They have a tiny advantage, but June now has the Uber charge. But they're just playing the point. There's no contest until very, very late. Now the heavy comes out. Uber out of both teams. Nasboy ends up taking himself down with the stickies, and the counter Uber is in. It doesn't do that much. The soldier bombs are coming in. Deli is weak, but he's not taken down here. Kunu not able to hit the final shot. Now 3 dead. For tf2easy, they have to back out onto second. League of Shadows, they've held on. Neither team, we talked about it earlier. We're seeing some flub last pushes here. Nubby? Never mind. Okay, he thinks better.
He's gonna just spare his KD for now, but we'll see. He's probably gonna do something, right, that involves a speed shot. That's kind of been his thing. I feel like ever since the Market Garden got banned, he's just been doing speed shot plays instead. It's just his new thing. But
there is a banner out on Scar now. I think they're sort of relying on this taking this round being a bit slower here. You see the pyro, you see the soldier, he just gets the banner up, but instead it's just a force coming in. Seeds and Kunu run in and get the force under June. But look at this, she has to flash a lot of players here, but Gaz is dead as well. No scouts for tf2easy means that they cannot go into last anymore. Decent damage actually coming out to Nasboy as well. I don't know if they should be able to hold second here. Slash is in behind the sticky bombs. They're not taken care of, but the damage is coming in. The flank is huge. It's decent damage. Now Nasboy taken down. Slash ends up paying for it. In the meantime, Nubby does not find the back cap. And that is 2 down now, including a demo man. Josh wants to go in, wants to find something. tf2easy, they're fighting this. I don't know if they should. They finally think better of it and they back out. They're 2 dead. Nasboy is up. He's not with the team. You can see League of Shadows, they want to go in. They want to go in fast. The bombs coming in out of Delhi. Does some decent damage, but they haven't found any kills. I don't even think there's a banner coming out. Now, trying to just split them out. I think they should just get this. Maybe this is the end of the aggression. Both teams have equal Uber. Gaz dead, though. Is that enough to push?
No, like it was enough to get the mid, but I don't think they're going to do anything other than sending in a soldier. I think that's the most we're going to get out of this. But
I mean, they're just walking through Cafe.
Yeah.
Was coming in. It's in onto Nasboy. He doesn't get flashed here. Siege decides instead that maybe you do just trade your demo man for an Uber charge.
I heard
now he's
banner.
going to come back in with Kunu here. Doesn't really have the players with him so far. At the League of Shadows, that far back, there's a banner coming out soon, but Zoe's taken down on the flank here. Deli taken down in the combo. Uber comes out, or the banner rather, comes out of Scar, but it's used super defensively here. 2 kills for both teams, but no Nasboy means no aggression for tf2easy. They sit back on second. Neither team really going in. As a fight onto the flank, though.
Yeah, Slash gonna see if he can actually get anything done, and he can.
He just lives? He just runs out. Oh my god. Okay, he doesn't get the rockets. I was about... That looked like it was gonna hit. I was really scared for Gaz. Thankfully he didn't. He's alive. Okay, everything's fine.
It's all gonna be fine. This push, though, has been quite delayed due to Slash having to be dealt with here, so this is a very small advantage. Like June, yeah, she has it now, so she's just going to start running forward. Actually,
they're walking in through Valley here. They're just trying to wrap them around. The Uber's popped, but look at League of Shadows. They're just onto second before tf2easy are. The Uber's coming out, kill onto Scar. Decent start there, but damage needs to come out. They need to find some more kills. The health is just not quite there for the League of Shadows. The damage is huge, though, onto tf2easy. Seed's taken down by Slash. He has HP now. Josh is shooting rockets at the sky. Aims for the stars, does not hit them. It's one Nubby in behind on Cafe. Has to do something to salvage this round. Nasboy is on last already. Sentry gun up, but Seeds is not. June has a huge advantage here. They should just be able to get something.
This is very crucial. Oh, Nubby goes in. Still
He
gets
gets
it.
the kill onto Delhi. He gets it anyway. I actually don't think this matters because June is only 75%. They're going to wait till June has Uber. They're probably also just going to wait for Delhi to come back with them. Now, if you're tf2easy, you have time to set up. They're setting up a
It's going
gun.
to delay them a little bit, but it's not going to be by a whole lot. They know they can probably just wait for the demo man to jump and getting a good buff and then Uber in before Seeds get there. But Seeds is the best at building really quickly. So they're going to need to be fast. You can see he's on about 80% by the time they come in here. And Slash goes down. That's really bad for them.
It's such a bad start to the push. Sentry Gun now taken care of. You can see there's so many players of the League of Shadows trying to fight Nubby in the background here. Josh hits a huge air shot there onto June. Just gets taken down. Delhi now dead as well. And this push is an absolute disaster here. The direct's coming out. Unfortunately, Nubby just did such a good job of distracting League of Shadows in onto lobby. Bomb comes in onto Seeds. Doesn't get the force. He lives once again and has a massive advantage to show for it. Maybe a banner out of Josh too. They should be looking here. TF2easy. They want to push onto mid. Potentially even, honestly, probably second as well.
Yeah, JMaxchill, can you whisper in my ear what the percentage is at on Josh's banner? Oh, it's broken. Okay, that's right. We get updates now, which means everything breaks. That's right. Thank you, Valve. As yeah, they take mid here. They still have the Uber ad. I think they're just going to go in here. Maybe you see you could totally see Josh Uber, right, just so he can actually build. You know, that's like a real pub thing, but they're taking such a long time to actually do this. We haven't seen these very close pushes overall. We saw one last push where they pushed on the dot and went in really aggressively, but outside of that, they haven't done it. Even when they have a pretty sizable advantage, they don't really push on it, which is an interesting observation, I think, especially if you're like Witness Gaming and you think you're playing. Here comes the banner. All right, what's that at 100%?
Yeah, the Ubers are coming out of both teams. Decent damage onto Scar immediately, but they're all sort of in TF2easy. They're all sort of sitting towards the enemy valley here. Damage being dealt now finally, but look at the HP on Delhi. He's just down already. Nasboy so far forward with this banner here, but Josh is once again shooting rockets up at scouts. Not the best situation in the world, but it looks like they managed to make it work so far. Slash is in behind, but the whole of TF2easy knows he's there. And unfortunately, with a flub-low jump, it's going to be such a long time before he can rejoin his team. Now TF2easy, they're jumping in through lower already. Josh is just taken down though. The bomb is coming in, but the cap time out of Gazzy is huge. Finally, the players on the League of Shadows are there, but it's just not enough. The HP is just barely there for TF2easy, and they get another round. That was a very, very long, close fought, and in the end, it just ends as messy as it started.
Yeah, not very pretty round if you're TF2easy. That's what they really had to earn that one, and it almost felt like they were about to go down 1-2. So, yeah, I'm sure they're absolutely relieved here coming in.
It's a pretty big break, especially with only 4 minutes left on the map. League of Shadows, they don't have that much time to respond, but TF2easy, they want to take this momentum in their stride. But look at Slash, she's found the kill into Seeds with Flick. It's absolutely massive. They lose Delhi pretty much immediately, but I think most crucially, it's Zoe still alive, I say, as he immediately gets taken down. Is Flick alive? Scar taken down, but Flick just does everything for his team. Finds Seeds, finds Kuhn, who finds Josh. And it's a wipe for the League of Shadows, and it's a giant advantage. June, she's already at 100%.
Yeah, the big trouble is that they're going to have to be very aggressive to take second if they want to get it for free, and they don't quite have the manpower to do it, but looks like they're going to try and get in here anyway. Don't want to waste any time jumping in the demo man. They have to be very careful not to walk over sticky traps and drop their medic, that kind of stuff, but looks like they have achieved the first goal that they set up to, which is to get in onto second, get it for free without using Uber. So they did get that. They solved that problem. Good job on their half, and now they're going to Uber in onto last. They could make it 2-2 here, Wandum.
They're trying to, definitely. The sentry gun once again taken down pretty much immediately. Nubby down as well. Tries to go in, tries to get a little bit of a flank going on, but Gaz and Nasboy, they find so much damage. The Pyro, the Demo Man, is just so strong, and unfortunately, once again, TF2easy, they managed to hold it. It's another flubbed push for the League of Shadows, just not able. I feel like Nubby, he goes behind, and everyone on the League of Shadows, they turn around to shoot him, and that gives Nasboy just enough time to clean up. And now Seeds once again 100% Uber.
Yeah. I think Josh is about to have his banner as well. Just if I had to guess, nobody knows at this point. It's a bit of a mystery. But this is going to be an Uber, and then after that, there's probably going to be a banner. So this is a very precarious situation. Soda's going to jump in, get a bunch of space. Josh might just die here. Oh, he does.
That's a decent start hit. Actually, 2 dead. Slash gets taken down, but you happily take that trade. Once again, though, I don't think the League of Shadows, they don't really have time to contest or to sort of sit back and relax. They have to push off these picks. It's 1 minute and 45 seconds left on the timer here. You don't have time to sit back on second. Instead, it's damage coming into Seeds. They get the force. Now it's actually 3 dead. This is looking good for them. They lose so many players to TF2easy, trying to walk into second. Scar dead now. Trading it for Nubby means that, honestly, probably the aggression, they don't really have that much of an angle to push in, but I think, honestly, they have time to not just push anyway. I feel like they just kind of have to go here.
Yeah, I feel like you should just push before Ubers become a thing, right? Because once Ubers get popped, then things kind of just automatically stop for 8 seconds, then they buy time to get in respawners, and then the respawners of the defending team are closer. So I think I would just get everyone a big fat buff and then just get in there and take a fight. And that might just be what they're doing right now. Going to send in a soldier, at least send it in 2, in fact. And this is where the big fight that's going to decide the outcome of this map's going to happen.
Damage is coming in out of the League of Shadows, but it's actually them just taking damage because Striker and Slash, they both get taken down on the flank. Scar's managed to find 1 kill into Nubby, but it's just not enough. The League of Shadows, they're down 3 members, almost 4 in the meantime. The Uber finally comes out of June, but Deli's 75. June is just, I mean, she's still alive, I guess. But, I mean, TF2easy, they happily sit back on second. Only 20 seconds now, and the League of Shadows, they're going to have to walk in through Cafe, and they get absolutely deleted. There we go. And TF2easy, they made it look easy on map number 1. They had to sweat for it a little bit on map number 2. But with only 7 seconds left, it looks like we'll have what everyone honestly expected towards the beginning of the season. Your finalists are going to be TF2easy, and it's going to be Witness Gaming. They're looking strong.
Yeah, it's almost a little enigmatic to see this, right? Because they were so dominant on the first map, and then they kind of struggled on the second map. So how are they going to rank up against Witness Gaming? I don't know. So that's going to be really exciting to see. And also, I'm seasick. I watched the NASPOW in the last 20 seconds, and I feel bad now. So yeah. I hope JMaxchill has been sparing the viewers of that experience, because holy hell.
Yeah, I don't normally watching a Nasboy for extended periods of time does lead to like nausea. It's not always the best time. I accidentally just opened the right log and then closed it immediately again. So I opened a different tab. Okay, there we go. So I desperately try to open the right log. Nope, never mind. It's because I'm scrolled up. There we go. We finally have logs. Oh my god, I found them. As yeah, I am looking at these logs right now. Do you know what I see? I see a lot of kills on Zoe. Zoe did a good job.
Yeah, Zoe almost always does a good job. Like, he's a very, very respectable scout, and he's been doing really good this season. So, I mean, Flick also 23 and 10. I feel like these are all Nubby deaths. I mean, I know he only died 18 times, but I'm pretty sure Post Scout killed him like 9 times each, and it was just suicide waves.
Yeah, Zoe got 11. Zoe got 11 soldier kills. Flick got 9 onto the soldiers. It's a bit unfortunate, but unfortunately, that's just how you play Roma in a current year. Yeah, shout outs to them. They were playing good, and I think importantly, I mean, okay, you look at Deli's logs; they're still not amazing, especially when you compare them to Nasboy's. But 8 kills is a lot better than 0. Has to be said.
And, and the damage is there.
Yes.
And, like, usually when the demo has high damage but low kills and the scouts have a lot of kills, you can put 2 and 2 together, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably working as intended, even if it looks bad for the demo man. Like, it's fine. It's a team game.
I think somewhat surprisingly this time, you take a look at the mid fights, and actually, I mean, League of Shadows, they came ahead on pretty much all of them. It was just the second mid fight where it ended up with tf2easy taking the cake on that one. Very quick round, but 3 out of 4 mid fight victories on Sunshine sets up a very interesting dynamic. Because also, when you're going into the final, I think one thing we mentioned earlier on in the season is that Witness Gaming are also not that good at Sunshine middles. They also lose the majority of their middles. If we're in a situation where both teams, where we somehow end up on Sunshine, and both teams are bad at it, what happens then?
I don't know. It's going to be like a cripple fight, I guess.
Yeah, it's a bit like watching Mac try to play anything other than Pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's true calling.
It's true calling. Mac, I feel like if Mac played Pocket for long enough, he'd be the best Pocket in the game. Guaranteed. It wouldn't be a question. I think, okay, we're looking at some medic logs here. I'm going to be honest. Are we surprised? I'm not.
No.
They look like medic logs to me. Seeds has a ton of heals. Just casually does like 7k more heals than his opponent.
Yeah, like having 1,300 almost heals per minute is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like usually, like if it's a very hectic game, you'll get like 900. If it's a more stalemated game, you'll get like 1,100. Yeah, so 1,300 is really, really high. Needless to say.
Yeah, that's it's big stuff out of them. I don't know how much more we can potentially dig out of these logs. We talked a little bit about it earlier, but I think now, I think we can take our hats off to League of Shadows. I honestly, I think they heavily overperformed this season. I think you look at the players and they performed much better than what you'd expect, making it out against New Panzer in 2 maps, and then also on the second one, they got rolled on Process. We just forget about Process and see how close Sunshine was. They definitely could have won this map. Honestly, there were multiple times where those last pushes were so close. I'm talking like a sticky bomb debt away from just winning or making it tied on Sunshine. Very good stuff. So hats off to Flick for not being bad.
Yeah. No, nobody thought that, but yeah, I'm kind of happy they're out just because in my head they're just LOS, which is line of sight. So that's what I've been trying to call them the entire time. And I think I called them League of Shadows every time, but if you go back and rewatch the VOD, I might have called them line of sight a couple of times. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep.
But we got the final result that we were expecting. Witness Gaming versus tf2easy. It can go either way, man. I don't know what to expect out of that. That's going to be incredibly hype. I can't wait.
It should be a very close final. Indeed, you are missing out if you do not watch, because big TF2 action is coming up. Last time I was casting this time last week, we had another game pretty much due the next day. This time around, not so sure. But we will have a lot of playoff games coming very quickly, as there are a bunch of links. JMaxchill just posted in the chat. Once again, I think it's LAN.tf, because I-69 is coming up, and both Peter and I want to see you at, as LAN is always cool. We haven't had one in a really long time. You should show up. If you feel like donating money to Americans, Banny on his Twitter has a link to a Freyotech fundraiser to help send them to LAN as well. But I think for now, that's it from me. Unless, Peter, you have anything to send us off with.
I still have the demo call open. You know, the season is about over, but the demo call is still going. So, yeah, make sure you do that. I'm probably going to make the video pretty soon. So make sure you get your frags in. Other than that, it's been great. JMaxchill doing production, always a pleasure. And then it was a good game. Wandum, always fun to cast with you. And obviously, Denmark winner.
Denmark winner.